We put this darkness behind us, and underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. It's black as pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind where deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit, and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit.
Hell is my confinement within this mind, now trapped and enshrined by my own mind.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Dukect, and that was some DKC from OC Remix. I hope you like that track. It was Trapped in Minds, the Clannon's claim, what have you. It was a really good song from OC Remix. You download the album over their website. It's great. It's fun. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, Dukect Live here on the Dukect Lounge. We got guests too in the chat room. Remember, you can always be here in the chat room. It's great. It's fun. And you can type the questions in. And remember, if you want to call in the Dukect Lounge, as always, the number is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. And sadly, if you are not listening live, how dare you, you can always listen to me, Dukect, on my YouTube, Blip, Shootack, or whatever. I'll post on the share video sites so this you can hear the Dukect Lounge podcast. So, again, you can hear it everywhere. So, anyway, now, let's talk about some things that were happening in the WWE. Now, there's some interesting pay-per-view news. There's interesting pay-per-view news. First, let's look at the refund, ladies and gentlemen, because this happened on. I can't believe that happened. This with the Night of Champions. Let's talk about Night of Champions. That supposedly, someone, a person that he, let's see right here from Dave Seltzer. Let's see, for us, his fans getting pay-per-view refunds at Night of Champions. And he says, and I quote, an elite member wrote me to tell me that he called Cox Cable and asked for a refund due to the finish of Night of Champions pay-per-view being overturned. He said that Cox eventually gave him the representative told him that other people have asked for a refund for the same reason. Wow, that is amazing. And this is a very interesting little topic here, and saying how pro wrestling is a very high stage production, and it's a very high age production. Body slam storylines, and the winners are predetermined. It's to me, win or lose, it's the journey that gets there. And to me, as someone who watched that show, and to me, I wasn't really impressed by it. Now, some would say the main event match made up for it. To me, there weren't really any matches that were really favorable to it. I mean, the Fatal 4-Way Divas match was a complete cluster F. Every match before the Tag Team Championship match was decent, but there were a lot of good, some semi-good to decent matches. And to me, it felt like pay-per-view was just another Monday Night Raw. Guest two is saying they should got a refund based on the basis that the pay-per-view sucked in general. Wow. Damn. Some people would say that. I mean, they did not like the pay-per-view at all. They think the pay-per-view wasn't that good. And I do agree at some points that the pay-per-view really dragged for a long while. You had a lot of unnecessary commercials there. It just really, really just put me in a really bad place. The pay-per-view was really, honestly, bland. You knew it was coming, plus that finish. And honestly, some people are complaining about it, and a lot of people are upset about, how dare they? They shouldn't be complaining. It's wrestling. It's a fake finish, and all this stuff. And I get that. I get a lot of that about people who are saying, well, just because of that finish, and you should sit there like it's a continuing story, what have you. And yes, some customers are complete a-holes. Yeah, the guest who agrees with me. It says, you take Raw with a grain of salt because you know everything leads up to the pay-per-views. But like you said, this one was just another Raw, which is true. Yeah, but I do see a point in people who are upset at the people who want a refund, saying, hey, this is a story. Yeah, watch it. It's good. And Raw, for the most part, the next episode of Raw was actually pretty good. But there was still a lot of problems because the huge gap of the mid-card is still there. And this whole Paul Heyman storyline, which to me is unnecessarily dragged out. And I'm sorry, I just faded off of the pay and such. I mean, to me, there was some good stuff here, mainly tied into the corporation stuff. Minus the crying Big Show. And to me, Dusty Rhodes, again, responded a little bit nonsense, but yeah, he had that crowd first saying what with him, they're saying what, but in the end, he shut that thing down, and the crowd was like, wow, they still have that emotion and the connection, and it just sucks that there's no real Dusty Rhodes, American Dream right now in the wrestling. Someone would say John Cena, but no, he doesn't have that deep type of connection. I mean, you look at the Rhodes like Hard Times promo. Seriously, watch that promo, and you'll be like, holy crap, man. Even today, it could, I mean, you might not like him as a wrestler, but damn it, he had a promo that it touched you. It felt real. And that, to me, is missing today, is that most often than not, most of these pro wrestling things aren't emotionally attached. And that sort of thing. But back to the point, and there are people who are upset at this. Some people are saying, well, y'all should just watch Monday Night Raw and everything else. But you know what? I just kind of think we have to be a little bit humble and realize that there are people who just didn't like the pay-per-view. And in fact, maybe they don't like these false finishes. They're like, oh, my God, we got to go through this Attitude Era crap again. And they're like, we're tired of the Attitude Era. Worked in the Attitude Era because it was new. It was like, oh, my God, the evil empire, what have you. But it was just, to me, Triple H versus... it's Triple H is the main part of the storyline again, and I can see why there's a lot of negatives. I know a lot of people like the storyline, but yeah, it's just the same thing, and people might be, they're tired of it. They're sick and tired of the same old evil boss storyline. Some people are tired of it, me included. I mean, you can have fresh spins on it, but to me, this is an evil authority figure. I mean, boil it down, some people are pissed off at the whole evil authority figure, and it's how good the booking is. Somebody may agree or disagree. When is that? To me, that's going to really be a big hamper when John Cena comes back or when Sheamus comes back. Go to bigger stars than Daniel Bryan. Let's be real here. Daniel Bryan's a star, but he isn't a big star like a Cena or Sheamus, or lesser extent Sheamus. LV54 will probably disagree with me about Sheamus, but it's the same type of it's just not the same type of principle. But yeah, you understand what I'm saying, people. What's the booking going to be like? It's going to be from the Daniel Bryan story to these big guys not doing anything. And Cena, I don't know what you're going to do with him, as all his stories have been told. Are you going to have him turn him heel like Bash on the Beach? Or are you going to have him just be like The Undertaker, come out and just wrestle with main eventers or something like that? Because if he goes in full hog in the storyline, let's be real here, regardless of being booked or non-booked, he's going to be either be the good guy or the villain, and let's be honest, he's not going to be portrayed the villain anytime soon. So out of this Daniel Bryan stuff, he's going to just be a patsy, which doesn't work because he's too big of a star just to be a patsy. He's going to have to take over the main role. Either Daniel Bryan is going to have to be shoved into the background in the mid-card, or he's going to turn heel and side with Triple H and what have you. Or he's just going to continue getting screwed, and to the point it's going to be like a Ryback syndrome, unless, what have you, then eventually get pushed or what have you. So, yes, some say Cena's going to take on Taker. I want to see that. I think that would be interesting, Cena Taker. But this storyline is way too big, and what's going to happen when when he is going to come back. What's going to happen when John Cena comes back and he has to be in the storyline? How are they going to integrate him? Are they not going to integrate him? I mean, he did say his piece on SummerSlam, and he still has a championship shot. So are they going to forget about that, or are they just going to move on? What's going to happen? I really don't know. I am semi-enjoying the ride with the whole Daniel Bryan storyline, but to me, it does get a bit exhausting. And I see why some people might not like it, and I do see why some people did not like the Night Champions and probably did want to have a refund. But anyway, speaking of all that crazy stuff, I'm going to head on to something more interesting about pay-per-views, about WWE pay-per-views. WWE SummerSlam buy rate has just came in, the prelim buy rate of SummerSlam 2013, and it's not good. It is 298,000 people bought SummerSlam total, and domestically, it got 186,000. It is lower than the 2012, where 350K total and 264 domestic. Now, I don't know what's happened here. Some people say, well, the booking, Daniel Bryan. But I mean, part of me thinks that one reason why the 2012 ones were higher, it was because of Triple H and Brock Lesnar. And no one wants to hear that, but it's true. Brock Lesnar was this huge star. He came back. They wanted to see this Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, and they were like, wow, they were hyped up for the match. I was hyped up for the match. I thought this could be really good, but holy crap, it was bad. It was terrible. It's probably one of the worst matches that Triple H and Brock Lesnar ever had coming back. And they upped the ante when they had that for WrestleMania. And then at Extreme Rules, for Brock Lesnar, UFC Big Badass, was made to look like a complete and utter biatch. Seriously. I mean, it took Paul Heyman. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry. And that's what the part of me, I was like, you know what? I couldn't take Brock Lesnar seriously anymore. I'm like, Triple H, no, you're not that badass. You're not that complete and utter badass enough to come in and knock out Brock Lesnar. This is a guy who basically took the Undertaker on his limit. When he was supposedly a young guy, he took the Undertaker and beat his ass like 10 years ago. On Hell in a Cell, made the Undertaker humble in Hell in a Cell. This is the same guy who took John Cena and, except for his hubris, lost that match. And you, Triple H, a guy who hasn't worked the full schedule so long, sat there in a suit, worked out and everything else, is going to beat up Brock Lesnar? No. And challenge him? No. It was a complete ego stroke, and it probably drive down the buys. We were like, man, they made Brock Lesnar look like a biatch. I'm not going to watch them. And then you have this, and then guess who makes a good point? The prices are ridiculous. I don't mind paying $60 or $80 for WrestleMania, but for $60 for some all-season pay-per-view, no thanks. Pay-per-view prices are extortion. Yes, they are. Pay-per-view prices are like $50 or $60. Why in the world would someone buy that for a pay-per-view? I think that's the HD high price, what have you. People would say yes, even for the big four, you can buy some prices. But with USC, I don't know how much they have their prices or what have you. Let's see. UFC. Let me see. See pay-per-view prices. Let's see, how much does a UFC pay-per-view cost? Let's see. Let's look at Comcast. Let's see. How much do they cost? The UFC, it costs $45 for the next big UFC 165. Jones was Gustafsson. I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think that's a better price. Personally, I think the price should go even lower, maybe towards $30 or $35 or $30, since people are still struggling with this recession or what have you. So I honestly think that should be cued in. I think WWE should have a lower price scale, not $50 or $60 for pay-per-views, but let's lower it down to $40, $30, and that sort of thing for pay-per-views events, and raise it up for WrestleMania or something like that. Eventually, people are not going to watch shows on Sunday. They will stream a show. They will stream. They will download it. They will do everything else but not watch it. And in fact, when DVDs come out of the show, Blu-ray or DVDs, what have you, or downloaded on the site, again, it's a lot cheaper. I guarantee it's a lot cheaper to download the price than actually go and buy it, what have you. It's, to me, and another thing, and I look at this something that I truly believe one of the reasons why the buy rate was down, and I said this again, is because of Brock Lesnar and the booking of Brock Lesnar. I mean, people were like, what happened? Why did Brock Lesnar was booked so dominantly with CM Punk? Which to me, I looked and laughed at. Every time I looked at him, I'm like, this is the same dude who, during the first match or something, so was like, oh my God, my stomach, oh, my tummy hurts. And then have Triple H beat him down. Hell, almost had Brock Lesnar tapping out at WrestleMania. Hell, I would have had him man tap out. Say, screw it, you're not going to do anything with him anyway. Make him tap out. And they look and say, why do people don't think Brock Lesnar was damaged goods? Just look at the Triple H feud. No good matches. Brock Lesnar was basically not. It just felt like he was just a non-entity. It just was just terrible. It was a terrible just to run with Brock Lesnar. Besides, let's be real, only 2 matches. Brock Lesnar had only 2 matches. Since he came back, only had 2 caliber matches. Him and Cena and him and Punk. That was it. But anyway, that's my little personal opinion. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break here. We're going to listen to some more OC remix songs. And we'll be right back. And next up, we'll be talking a little video games and certain reviews that have gone a little, crazy for the latest GTA video game that's coming out and all the young people are playing. I want to get my little thoughts on the reviews and what have you about that. The horrible reviews about it. All right, anyway, we're right back here on the Dukect Lounge. Thanks once again for listening. Phone number is 724-444-7444. Again, the number is 724-444-7444. The call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the number is the call ID number is 92417. Boys and girls and boys and girls. Oh, boys and girls. It's amazing that GTA can get all these people going nuts and all this stuff. I mean, first you have the people blaming video games for it. I mean, you have the GTA 5 Call of Duty being blamed for Navy Yard shooting more often than not, and I guarantee the person who did that horrible and horrific crime did not do that, did not be good because of it. And if it was, what have you, it didn't even matter. There's no correlation for it. I mean, it seems like there's no real true responsibility, true real person responsibility. It's because of this, because of that. No, the person who was responsible at the end of the day is that person who did kill those unfortunate innocent people. You know, that stuff right there. And then you have this. You have the GTA people, reviewers who want to get them. I am just, amazing. I am amazed, people, of this right here. And it's report right here from System Wars magazine. You have a GameSpot reviewer gives GTA 5 a 9 out of 10. Let me stress this. Gave this video game a 9 out of 10. Possible an editor's choice. And then, holy crap, they went off her. But yet, and she said this, the person who reviewed this for GameSpot, Caroline Pettit, said this interesting. And people got so pissed off, they all went crazy, and video gamers wanted her to get fired because this quote, politically muddled and profoundly misogynistic, perhaps you dive right into the game's story problems or its serious issues with women. From Caroline Pettit, the person who reviewed this, her and everything else. In fact, there's now a petition. There was a petition for her to get fired. But, good news, it was taken down. I don't know. Really, I'm sorry. For one statement, this person, she should be fired. It really is. It pisses me off now. Oh, goodness. I mean, it doesn't really, this stuff really bothers me. I'm with gamers who say, I'm with them when they have, stuff like the Navy Yard shooting and people blaming all this other stuff. But I know besides the majority of gamers, I'm one of them. I know a lot of people who are gaming and everything else who are 98.9% awesome. But there's always that one little percent, that 1% who, for whatever reason, think that they can say all these horrible and nasty things that drag us down. There's always going to be that 1% to do that, and it seems like as long as the scope, as long as the eye of the media, who's been judging us for so long, who has always been judging these, the new thing that people hate. There used to be comics, used to be rap music, used to be blues, or not blues, rhythm and blues, rock and roll. Everything gets challenged. Everything gets challenged from the old to the new generation. And with the greatness that is the internet, where you can find great things made for gamers and all that good stuff, there's also the negative stuff, that 1% that seems to grow, like they seem like they're like 1,000. Like that 1%, that small 1% of these nasty, vicious monsters on the internet seem to be mass in force. I deal with it. Everyone deals with it. But sometimes, sometimes you just want to just shake my head and like, really? And looking at these comments and such, man, what have you, it just amazes me. And just, it's amazing me. And people who are very upset about that. It's just, I don't know. It's just feel like gamers need to calm down. Whether a game is not reviewed at 10 or 9s, what have you. Which, again, I can see why. And I think the person who put me, the first I got this was from Dukect USA. And I think he said something that was very interesting. He says maybe these guys and gals who put these reviews up are not sellouts, who put 10s on them, like they're not sellouts and everything else. You know what? They're just tired of this crap. They're tired of people coming in and just saying these horrible negative stuff, saying that they're horrible people for not giving their game a perfect score. Hell, the Escapists gave a gave GTA 5 a 7 out of 10, and they're all the worst people in the universe now. I mean, they got 10s everywhere else, and if a 7 out of 10 is going to bother you, I don't know. That means maybe you have some doubts in the game too. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe that's just that really self-conscious of fans or what have you. Because at the end of the day, it's an opinion, and you know we can't just go around basically trying to get people fired or just giving these harassments and what have you just for someone's opinion. I mean, there's some games I liked, some games I don't like. Heck, there's popular stuff that I'm not liking. I mean, I'm not really in with the Daniel Bryan storyline or what have you, and some people, like it. Some popular people, YouTubers, YouTube wrestling communities do like it. Now, I know some of us have, might have some struggles with it. We might argue, debate, what have you. But, we'll let the people speak and have their thoughts. At the end of the day, it's an opinion. And it seems like most of these guys online, they just can't deal with that. They just can't deal with everyone saying, you know what, this is something different. They lose their minds. They go crazy. I don't know. It just bothers me that you have this type of stuff. It just goes crazy. People go crazy if you have this whole notion of everyone else trying to be, trying to have different ideas or what have you, different opinions. And maybe it's just like that. Maybe it's, I don't know. By the way, with Caroline Pettit, with her thoughts in the review, personally, I don't see it. To me, it's all played up. And including the GTA torture is way over the top, or what have you, as well. And again, this is a simulating GTA in the entire series. Now, how much deep storylines there are, it's still about a series that has violence, sex, drugs, language, robbery, incredibly just crazy actions, or what have you. But, I don't really see what her point is about her, the misogyny and stuff. But I wouldn't degrade her or what have you, call her names and want her to get fired because of it. Because at the end of the day, she gave the game a great score, a 9 out of 10, an editor's choice. Hell, if I ever make a video game or any type of medium, I would kill for something like that. A 9 out of 10, I'd be like, yes, thank you so much. I wouldn't be one of these game people who say, or 8 out of 10 or anything else, who, heck, I'm happy to be rated at all. I see, like, right now, or what have you, who I think recently I did the whatever the hell review contest. I didn't do well. I did okay. I did fine, what have you, but I didn't win. And, A. Salieri's, the guy who did it, looked at my stuff, said it was okay. It was really average. And I now know I have to work on other things and do all the other stuff. So, I didn't go and cry in a corner and yell, scream, and maim and did all this type of stuff, all this other crazy stuff. But, you gotta have other people have try to look and say, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe there is something wrong with the game, what have you. But, whatever. I wouldn't want to get fired, and I'm hopeful they won't get her fired, what have you. But, in the end, it seems like we just have to really look like. You have to really start building these things up again. But hey, that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, we'll be right back after this. And, man, this is 34 minutes, so I got to cut a lot of this stuff down. You're going to come back right after this. We're going to talk a little bit some TNA stuff, and then we're going to end the show. So, anyway, thanks so much for listening. It's the Dukect Lounge. Remember, you can find us. You can find us on Blip, YouTube, Screw Attack, and all that crazy stuff. If you haven't listened to us live, anyway, we'll be right back right after this. Thank you once again for joining me here on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back. And we are back live here at the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me, Dukect, live here on TalkShoe.com. And if not, thank you so much for listening to me on YouTube, Blip, Screw Attack, That Guy with Glasses, video forums, video review forums, and wherever I could get this little podcast up and running. All right. Whew. Let's get this thing started now with some TNA stuff. Now, as you know, that recently Mickie James' contract is now gone. And she left, and now you have supposedly Hulk Hogan is basically on his, they're not going to re-sign him. And now you have hearing rumors that TNA is so much in debt by going on the road, which something I think I really am positive for them for that, is now they're looking for a permanent home in, say, Las Vegas, or I think somewhere in Tennessee or somewhere. Maybe in even I think they might go back to Orlando. But there is a lot of things wrong with TNA, and I've been feeling a bit just dried out from it. And it really, really, really pissed me off that TNA is not getting that stuff. I mean, they have so much talent, and they just don't know what they're doing right now. But, with Hogan gone, and I'm hopeful, maybe there's some new hope. And I'm thinking when Hogan goes, I hope he takes Bischoff with him. I think you can start getting some new ideas. I mean, I don't know what is Mike Quackenbush doing these days? I don't know if Shikara is dead or alive. It's like Schrodinger's cat with Shikara. Is it dead or alive? I don't know. But if he's available and he's not doing nothing, call him in to be the new booker. Give him some new ideas. Get some people who know what they're doing. Get some good people with some production values, what have you, and see what you have there. I think that's the problem with TNA, is that they're not being the alternative. And to me, I really wish they could actually be more, more cafe. Maybe you have more characters and such, something more interesting. Instead of as much as I like Ring of Honor, and I really do care for it, when their pay-per-views are not glitching out and what have you. The real wrestling is, kind of really dry and boring. And, and to me, there's no real interesting characters. And I'm really hopeful that they could try to fix it. There's still time, people, and they're still getting enough ratings, high enough ratings that Spike TV likes them. They're not going away by Spike TV. They like them. They really enjoy it. So as long as Spike TV's happy, TNA is going to be there for a while. But now we have a question. What are we going to do? What are they going to do? Now, I don't know about you, but I think that TNA, which is something I really do care. Like I said, TNA needs to look at some new ideas, and I think this could be a really good and positive thing for them. Total Nonstop Action could be a blessing in disguise. This could be a blessing in disguise for Total Nonstop Action, because they can have a new set of eyes here. They get some good young talent there, and now we can, that sort of thing. Is that maybe Dixie Carter could, step aside and actually have someone who knows everything else. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what TNA needs to do, but it just seems like they need a lot of things to be fixed. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, Dukect in the Lounge. I promise next time I'll have a happier note to go off of. Okay, anyway, it's Dukect here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.